Hey, what is going on, guys? This video today is going to be something I've wanted to do for a while now, but I haven't gotten around to it until now. It's going to finally be the in-depth ramp rushing tutorial that I promised you guys a while ago on my channel. I get a lot of questions about ramp rushing. How do I rush people? How do I build certain ramp rushing structures? And when do I use them in different varying scenarios? So that is what I intend to cover in this video today. I'm going to be sharing with you guys the 4 different ramp rushing structures that I actually use on a game-to-game basis, as well as a bunch of different situations when you should and shouldn't use the various structures that I build. Along with that, I'm going to show some other situational tips to tack along with it that will hopefully make you guys much better aggressive rushing players in Fortnite Battle Royale. So we're actually going to start this video off today with a little bit of a disclaimer, I guess you could call it, of why I'm only going to be covering 4 different ramp rushing structures. As I told you guys a few seconds ago, it's mainly due to the fact that those are the 4 different ramp rushing techniques that I actually use consistently on a game-to-game basis. The reason I want to cover this right off the rip is because if you follow Fortnite Reddit or Twitter or YouTube or Twitch on a very dedicated basis, a new ramp rushing technique is literally popping up every single day. And I'm not gonna lie, some of them do look really good. I would understand why people would kind of be tricked into thinking that these are like groundbreaking new innovations in Fortnite building. But the truth is, at the end of the day, there's a reason why you only see these ramp rushing techniques in like short videos to show off how cool they look. And there's mainly 2 reasons for it. First off, they're either totally non-viable on console or just in general unreliable on both console and PC. I mean, I saw one today that was literally like a 7-layer ramp rush push. I mean, it was crazy. It was like 2 walls, 2 floor pieces. It was just ridiculous to build. And it definitely did seem really cool when the guy was doing it, but the first thing I thought of when I saw it is that there is A, no way to replicate this on console, and B, even if you could replicate it on console, or even if you could do it on PC, there is no way in heck it will ever be reliable enough to actually do in-game. And reason number 2 why it seems like these brand new groundbreaking ramp rushing techniques are never seen again after the 20-second Twitter clip is due to the fact that a lot of them just eat up way too many materials. Like I mentioned, an 8-layer ramp rush technique is going to take 80 materials for 1 level. Therefore, if you want to go even like 6 or 8 high, you're burning about 500 to 600 wood at least. So that's just simply not viable because you're going to run through precious materials way too fast. So now that we got that out of the way, let's move into the 4 different ramp rushing techniques that you should actually learn how to do because they actually are viable in game. And we're going to start off with the bread and butter of ramp rushing, the simple, good old reliable ramp wall rush combination. You guys should know how to do this by now, but if you don't, it's really as simple as placing a ramp to go up and then a wall in front of it and repeating this over and over again until you're at your desired height. Now, I do turbo build this along with every other ramp rushing technique you're going to see in this video. Nowadays, I turbo build literally everything I build, so I want to get that out of the way now because I know some of you guys have been asking me that and maybe have had some problems with turbo building, but I would hope by now all of those are fixed and you should be able to turbo build all of these structures. Getting back into ramp wall, I call it the bread and butter of ramp rushing because it really is the most common technique that you're going to use, which is good because it's so simple and it's so light on mats. 1 level is only going to cost you 20 materials, so even if you're going like 10 or 12 high, you're only running about 200 to 250 materials. Next up is double ramp wall, and I don't think I have to go too in depth with this one because it's basically built the same way as single ramp wall, except you're doubling it up. So you're going to place down 2 ramps and then 2 walls and then 2 ramps and then 2 walls. And if you see the gameplay, I'm doing it in kind of a circular motion while turbo building, which I believe is the most effective way to do it and the way you're going to be the most consistent with it. Moving on to structure number 3, which is probably my second most used structure in this example, and that is the single floor ramp wall combination. Now you're going to want to pay attention because the next thing we're going to cover is the the double floor ramp wall combination, but you can't just follow the name. You can for single floor ramp wall if you watch the gameplay, because the way I'm building it is going floor and then ramp and then wall. This is basically the simple ramp wall combination on steroids because you're adding an extra layer in there with the floor. And I love this one because I feel like it's the bread and butter almost of ramp wall while having that little extra level of reinforcement. It's still really low on mats. You're only using 30 per level. So as I said, if you're going 10 high now, instead of using 200, you're using 300. I do it when I'm being shot at by multiple people, but not from a bunch of different angles, because it's only going to offer you one layer of protection in terms of in front of you, where something like double ramp wall or double floor ramp wall is going to offer you 2 levels, but it's still my second most built for a reason. I just like that extra level of protection when I'm being shot at by multiple people. Now, moving into the fourth and final structure, the structure that a lot of people on console Fortnite seem to be obsessed with, double floor ramp wall. If I were to guess, I would say it's a pretty safe bet that this is the ramp rushing combination that you guys are most excited to learn about. There's this odd little theory in the community that, oh, it isn't possible to double floor ramp wall on console, or only the absolute best builders can double floor ramp wall on console. And my thoughts on that are maybe, but honestly at the end of the day it just comes down to knowing the best combination on how to do it, as well as going into playground mode and practicing it until you're able to do it yourself. Now, as I said, the name is floor ramp wall, but unlike with single floor ramp wall, that is not how you build it with double floor ramp wall. You're actually going to want to switch it around a little and go ramp floor wall instead of floor ramp wall. And since it's a double now instead of a single, you're obviously going to want to double up on all of the placement of the individual materials. So it's 2 ramps and then 2 floors and then 2 walls. You should definitely pay attention to the gameplay with all of these ramp rushes, but specifically this one, so click on if you're watching something in a different tab right now, because if you want to learn it, this is how you're going to do it by watching the gameplay. This ramp rush technique is mostly used in situations where you are heavily outnumbered, you need to rush a specific thing, whether that's a player or a point of natural high ground like a mountain that you need to get up to, and I really only save this for like 1v3s, 1v4s where I'm just getting absolutely shredded by an organized team. And the reason for that is that A, it's not super reliable on console. Even the best builders in the world are going to screw it up every once in a while, and that could definitely get you killed in certain scenarios, as well as the fact that it just absolutely shreds through mats, with each layer taking up a total of 60 materials, so it will run you dry in a hurry if you consistently do it. So now that you guys know the ins and outs of how to build the 4 most important ramp rushing structures in Fortnite, I want to end this video off by breaking down how I would use these ramp rushing techniques in a few different situations, as well as showing you guys some other advanced rushing tips in Fortnite. Alright, so first off, I'm going to show a quick example of how I would quickly ramp rush someone who had high ground over me and was cubed up or just looking to pick me off from a head glitch. As you're going to see here, I'm ramp rushing, but making sure to block off with walls every possible shooting angle this guy has on me. I do the simple cubes to block him off and combine it with the floor ramp wall combination until I have high ground. I'm now higher than him as he's trying to shoot me out. That's all she wrote. Next up, I'm going to show a similar example, but more so how to slowly push someone in a high ground position. As you see here, I'm doing the same thing as before, combining floor ramp wall with placing something at the side so the shooter can't get an angle. I keep doing this repeatedly until I have high ground. Since I'm blocking it off, there's really no way for him to shoot me out. And as you see, I repeat this until I eventually have high ground, and after a few shotgun shots, kill the opponent. The final clip I'm going to show you in this video today is a way to deal with people who shoot down your ramp rushing techniques. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is one of the most annoying things in the game, but a big mistake that people make is they continually push from the same place when people are constantly shooting them out. As you're going to see in this gameplay, the smartest thing to do is reset. And as someone's shooting down your initial ramp rush, you basically want to beat them to the punch by resetting, moving to a new location, and ramp rushing again. As you're going to see here, I kill the player, and what I basically did there was, as they were trying to shoot me down, I made them waste all of their clip on whatever first ramp rush I was doing. By jumping down instead of just pushing forward and basically asking to be shot out as I kept going, I made the player waste all of his time and effort in shooting down a ramp that I was no longer using. And by the time I reset up from a new ramp, his clip was expended, he couldn't shoot me down in the second ramp, I was able to get high ground and kill him with ease. So now that you guys know the best building techniques for all of the ramp rushes in Fortnite that are actually usable on a game-to-game basis, it now is down to you guys to go into playground mode, go into games, and practice them until they are second nature to you. Because if they're not second nature to you and you need to basically think about how to build them in the middle of games, you're not going to be able to focus on the things that actually matter. You're going to mess up and you're going to get killed a lot while trying to do this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.